Good morning and welcome back to Coffee and Conversations with me, Minister in Training, and God's favorite daughter, Latreia. Today there is no coffee, there's water. The coffee will come later, but there's definitely a conversation. If you are a return viewer, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. If you are new here, welcome to this safe space where I share with you, as part of my ministerial training, my journey through the Bible. And each week I go through, I read my Bible, and if there is a verse that jumps out, or if there's a verse that God calls out to me, I read it and I share my interpretation of it with you. And the purpose of this is to help somebody else who is intimidated by those big words in the Bible, to help break it down. So this morning we are coming from Luke 19, and I am reading from the Christian Standard Bible, from the She Reads Truth Bible. Luke 19, and we're start going from verse 1 through verse 9. So Luke 19 verses 1 through 9, and it reads, "He entered Jericho and was passing through. There was a man named Zaccheus who was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. He was trying to see who Jesus was, but he was not able because of the crowd, since he was a short man. So running ahead, he climbed up a sycamore tree to see Jesus, since he was about to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, 'Zaccheus, hurry and come down, because today it is necessary for me to stay at your house.' So he quickly came down and welcomed him joyfully. All who saw it began to complain, 'He's going to stay with a sinful man?' But Zacchaeus stood there and said to the Lord, 'Look, I'll give half of my possessions to the poor, Lord, and if I have extorted anything from anyone, I'll pay back 4 times as much.' 'Today salvation has come to this house,' Jesus told him, 'because he too is a son of Abraham, for the Son of Man has come to seek and save the lost.'" And so this stood out to me for a number of reasons. Y'all know I got my little trusty notes here. So first of all, Zacchaeus made a move towards Jesus. So he made it known in his actions that he wanted to seek out the Savior. And he was not going to let his adversity, in this case his height, stop him from seeing Jesus. So he climbed up the tree. And because he moved and he made that adjustment, and he made that action, Jesus saw him, right? And so Jesus commanded that he come down. So sometimes we have to make our move towards the Savior. And when the Savior sees us make our move, the Savior makes the move towards us. Kind of like Ludacris' song, "When you move, I move," just like that. But when we move, he moves just like that. Also, Jesus said, and this is the part that really did something for me. When Jesus said, "Come take me to your house," here comes the judgment from the town folk. Why is he going to that sinful man's house? Why is he choosing him, the one who has sinned, to go to his house, instead of choosing us, those who we think we're perfect and we think we are living righteously? Why is he choosing him over us? And when Jesus made it known that he was selecting him, Zacchaeus repented and said, "Look, I'm sorry if I've harmed anybody. I'm sorry if I did anything wrong. I will pay it back fourfold." And Jesus let it know that not only was he forgiven, but regardless of your sin, you're also a son of God. And so for me, that spoke volumes, because I have been blessed and God has been making it known that he is ever present in my life. But there are people who will look at me, and people who have looked at me, and say, "Why her? Why her? She's this and she's that, and she's all these things. So why her and not me? Why has she been selected to do these things and not me? I thought I was worthy." And at the end of the day, regardless of what people think about me, regardless of what people think about you, it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what God thinks about me. And regardless of your opinion, God has chosen me to do the things that he has purposed for me to do. And I refuse, because there were times where I let people's opinions shudder me and keep me from doing what it is that God had purposed for me in my life. And so I had to make the move towards Jesus. I had to make it known that I wanted a better relationship. I wanted to see Jesus. I wanted to climb up in a tree like Zaccheus and look down and see him. And so when Jesus saw me make that move, then Jesus made that move towards me. And that's how I'm able to now sit here and speak freely about my relationship and my growing relationship with God, and also me walking in my purpose of becoming a minister. Because let me tell you something. 5-10 years ago, the version of me that existed then would not even be sitting here having a conversation with you about God. But because I made the decision to hop up in that tree while Jesus was passing, and he saw me and he said, Treya, come in. I need you to take me to your house. I need you to take me to your house. And yes, there were people that were like, why is Jesus going to her house? She's a sinner. But what Jesus said in that moment was, she is also a daughter of God. She is also God's favorite daughter. So for me, I'm going to continue to use this verse, again, Luke chapter 19, verses 1-9, to inspire me to keep going. And I hope that inspires somebody else to keep going, to climb up in that tree. If your heart is tugging every time you hear a powerful sermon, or every time you hear a word from God, or in a song, if that is tugging, that is your spirit being called to go up in that tree. Once you make that move up in that tree and Jesus sees you, it's a wrap from there. As you do that, just make sure that when you hear people go, why her, why her, why her, just turn and look at them and say, why not me? Why not me? I too am a daughter of God. So I hope you all take that with you this week. As always, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all next week. All right, for another episode of Coffee and Conversations with Minister in Training, Latreya. You all be blessed, and I will talk to you later. Bye.